Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back. If it's your second time here, or if it's your first time, welcome to my channel, Visions TV. I am Yolanda Kelly, also creatively known as Nayla Shea, and it is truly my pleasure and honor to be with you today, or whatever time tonight you're watching. But it's an honor, and I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you so much for joining. And while I'm thinking about it, please like, subscribe, and share this post with someone, and put on your notifications so that when we do post, you'll get the notification that we actually posted something. I can't do this without you. We need everyone to just, rally together and get this information out. It is my mission in life to empower, to inspire, educate, and enlighten those whose lives I'm blessed to touch. And so I'm grateful that I get to do that through this video and also through a podcast. So it was so funny because I had plans on doing the podcast, Visions podcast as well. And I did not say that in the last video. So you'll be able to find us on podcasts, and we'll share that information in the description below. So if you haven't watched the first video, please go back and watch our first video, which was entitled Good Grief, Coping with Grief During the Holidays. And if I'm able to, I'll put a card for that, or a link for that, but the link for that will definitely be in the description of this video. And you can go back and you can watch that. And we paid tribute to some people that I knew that have passed away over the past year or so, or in my life that were very, very special. And so, yeah. So before I move on, you can find me also on. You have the my artist page, only one, the number one, Nayla Shea, and my business page for Visions of Hope is on IG, Visions of Hope. That's it, at Visions of Hope. And so you'll hear some more information with regards to Visions of Hope itself. But Visions TV and the Visions podcast comes by way of and through Visions of Hope, which is my total wellness and transformational coaching practice. And you'll hear me say that name. It was at one point Visions of Hope Life and Wellness. Okay, so let's get into this episode. And the book Good Grief. And again, the book Good Grief is available on Amazon right now. As well as my first book, Confessions from a Broken Place, Her Story, His Glory. Both are available on Amazon right now. And Confessions from a Broken Place is available on Kindle. Well, actually, no, I'm so sorry. Both of them are available on Kindle. Okay, so I'm going to do as I promised, and I'm going to share with you my story of the loss of my husband. So in the last episode, because I'm not gonna post it here, but in the previous episode, if you didn't have a chance to see, you don't know who my husband is when I'm speaking of him, please go back to the first episode and you'll get to see. But just kind of like to reiterate, my husband is Kenneth Kelly, or was Kenneth Kelly. He was a singer in the group Riff. And you saw the group Riff in the bathroom scene of the movie Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. My husband was the actual one that did the fairy side, that part, the very famous part. I'm so sorry. I just laughed at that because, fun fact, I was in the movie Lean on Me too. A lot of people don't know that. Well, let me say this. So, yeah, I probably was on the cutting room floor, because I don't think you'll never see me. You never saw me in the movie, but guess what? I got paid for it. It's on my resume. Yeah, I was in the movie, and I didn't know him then. Not personally. I knew of this group
called the Playboys. So, okay, just I got to go back a little bit, just a little bit backstory. How I came to be in the movie Lean on Me. I'm a pageant girl, a talent pageant. I wasn't a beauty pageant. If anyone knows of Hal Jackson's Talented Teen pageant, gosh, back in the day, I was a queen. I was one of the queens of Hal Jackson's Talented Teens, excuse me, International. And through that opportunity, I had the honor and the privilege of being asked to come in as an extra. Excuse me, I ate some chips. To come in as an extra to do the movie Lean on Me. Went in, it was in the summer, I'll never forget it. It was in the summer and went in and we were there all day. Anybody ever interested in knowing what life is like as an extra? Yeah, you're gonna be on set all day. We were doing this scene where we had to walk up and down the hallways like high school students, and I was actually a high school student at the time. And this is long before I knew I even was interested in acting or was going to be an actor. At that point, I just sang, and so that was what I did in the pageant. So, again, I didn't know Kenny at that time, but this group, the Playboys at the time, they did the movie, and that group ultimately became Riff. But when they were the Playboys, when I won my pageant, they actually sang to me. At that time, the pageant director would have the local band or Playboys at that time come in and serenade the queen. And so the year that I won, they came to me and they came and serenaded me, excuse me. And they sang this song, Little Girls. I never forgot it, ever, ever, ever. Little girls grow up to be the loveliest sight to see. Something else. Teenager. Yeah, that was the song. I never, ever, ever forgot it. And so they sang that to me when I won. And, I don't really know who they were. The Playboys in the group Riff or whatever, they're from Patterson. I'm back from Hackensack. I didn't know any of these people. I just knew that there was this one guy that I thought was so cute, and he would remain nameless. My husband knew, but he would remain nameless. It wasn't him though. And it was this guy. I thought he was so handsome, so attractive, and it was a kitty like little crush that I had. I was like, oh my gosh. Like most of the girls that did know of the group. So yeah, that's how I knew or came to be a part of the movie Lean on Me. So Lean on Me. But I didn't know Kenny at the time. So fast forward many, many, many moons. Many moons later. I'm working at this company in Wayne, New Jersey. And from the time I was there, I would see this guy, Kenny, and he would walk past my desk and he would speak. And I knew him. I knew who he was immediately because I remembered him from the group. And he would speak, and but I wasn't really, giving him any play or whatever because I wasn't interested. I just wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in the fact that he was an artist, and the name of the group. They had that name, the Playboys, at that time for a reason. So in my mind, I don't want no Playboy. So needless to say, he would, pass by my desk. He would, send me little, at that time I think it was Lotus Notes, and he would send me Lotus Notes, and I kept it real, cool, nothing major. And then he commented on something that I was wearing. And, ultimately one thing led to the next in terms of us getting to know each other. We didn't get married for a while. But us getting to know each other, we were in a relationship for a very, very, very long time before we actually got married. We got married into, I'm jumping way ahead. I don't have time to tell our backstory in its totality, but we got married in 2013. Um, and Kenny at the time was working at St. Joseph's Hospital in Patterson. Um, we lived in Pennsylvania at the time. I'd been living in Pennsylvania since 2010 in the Poconos. And then when we got married, he moved up there with me in our house. And he was still working down in Jersey for a while. And then eventually, Kenny was working up at Walmart Distribution Center by 2016. Again, he had transitioned up there because it just got to be too crazy. Commuting back and forth from Pennsylvania to Patterson, which is where he worked at the time. Or when he first moved up there, it was a lot. It was a lot to commute back and forth every day. There's people that do it, but it just got to be too much for him. And so, thankfully, he was able to get a job at the Walmart distribution center where he was working, I think, close to 40 hours a week or 30 something hours a week from Thursday through Sunday. So he had Tuesday through Wednesday off. I'm so sorry. I said that so wrong. Yeah, no. Monday through, I'm so sorry. He had Monday through Wednesday off. I may have it wrong. He used to work on Thursdays. Yeah, I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm pretty sure it was. So, that was his schedule. And so on the weekends, he would stay up. Kenny was a member of my church. Was he a deacon? No, he wasn't a deacon. But he was very active in our church. One of the brothers, he was over the security team, very active and very involved. There I go. I told y'all last time I didn't realize how much I touched my nose, but my nose is itching right now. So he was very active, very involved. And so I would come down to New Jersey, and I say down because now I'm in Jersey now. I moved after he passed away. But I would come down to Jersey every weekend. 9 times out of 10, I would come down Saturday morning and then go back home Saturday. Believe it or not, I am a homebody. I'm an artist who, interestingly, I have a shirt. I don't have it. You'll probably see me wear it or one like it that says I'm an introvert extrovert. One of the shirts I have says I'm a selective extrovert and a natural introvert, and that's true. Like I really don't like to be around a lot of people. I like to be around whoever I want to be around at the time. And that does not include a lot of people. And contrary to what people may think, let me say this. I don't know why I feel like I need to interject this right now. Yeah, I come from a large family. And so that comes with a lot of volume. And that comes with a lot of energy and personalities. And so when we get together, it can be very loud. And it's interesting. One of my cousins will tell you every time our family gets together or got together, I would always end up somewhere off in a room somewhere by myself, like chilling, watching TV, maybe or whatever, talking on the phone. Probably not talking on the phone. That's rude. But yeah, I don't like a lot of noise. I don't like a lot of people. And it's so funny because the same cousin says to me, you are so funny. And she was actually talking about me and her husband. But she was saying that her husband did poetry, spoken word poetry at the time when she made this statement. And she was like, I don't understand. She's like, I don't know how you and, or she do it like y'all are around people. I don't know why I kept looking off to the side, y'all. Sorry. But y'all are around, y'all get up in front of people and perform to the masses. But then in your private life, you don't want to be around a bunch of people. And I know that sounds so contradictory. It just, any of the people that I've performed with, that I used to be on the road with, they'll tell you like, I just, when we would get off stage, we would have to, sign autographs and different things like that. And once that moment was over, and as much as I loved and appreciate and still do love and appreciate meet, I love it. I love, after plays or after shows going out potentially in the lobbies to meet people if they're out there waiting for us, because I just think that that's the honorable thing to do. I want to meet them to thank them for coming to the show. But that's a part of me being the artist. But I also have another side to myself, and that's me. That's the non-artist, the part of me that is a human being who just really likes to. I don't know why I keep looking off to the left, y'all. Sorry. Who very much likes her personal space. Being that kind of person, being to myself, being at home doing absolutely nothing is perfectly fine for me. I enjoy that. I enjoy whatever time I'm spending, whether it's my family, being with my family, or being at home by myself, or whatever. I'm going to make the most of the time and I'm going to enjoy it. So going back to coming down here, I would come down here most cases Saturdays and then drive back up Saturday night so I could be at home with my husband, So anywho, by the time of his passing, Kenny was working up in Pennsylvania. I would come down and I would usually go back. But this particular weekend, it was July 30th is the date that he actually passed away, 2016. And on July 29th, my nephew, who I'm sure I'll have on the show or as one of our featured artists on Visions TV. His name is Elijah. And he's not my bio nephew, but I call him my nephew. He and my daughter have been best friends since they were children. We all went to church together. His parents and I are friends. We all went to church together, but he was in Motown. He had been on tour. He played Stevie Wonder. And they were coming home off tour, and he was going to be doing the Broadway Motown. And unfortunately, they ended up closing almost right, maybe 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a month after they opened. And so I had not been able to see him perform. So there was plans for my daughter Shakia and one of my other non-bio daughters, Jackie, to go see him perform that Friday night. And my plan was to go down to see it as well that Friday. Earlier that week, my godfather, Minister Walter Hall, who this is amazing, just having these conversations or having this, like doing this taping. And the people that I'm mentioning, they're just not here anymore. But my godfather, spiritual father at the time, Minister Walter Hall, who passed away during COVID, he had a timeshare up in the Poconos. He would come up every year. And definitely this particular week, he wanted to come up and spend some time with me and Kenny. He had gotten us couples day at the spa, couples massage at the spa. So he came up, and I think he came up on Sunday. We ended up meeting him for dinner on Monday, going to this restaurant. I'm trying to think. I think I'm getting my information incorrect. I think I might have met him and his daughter Leanne that Monday, or I met them Sunday and Kenny was still at work, something along those lines. By Tuesday, he had dropped off the couple's spa package to Kenny,
while I was away at work. And by Wednesday, he really had wanted to meet with us for us to, go out to dinner with him. I mean, he was just the most generous man. Honestly, the most generous man I've ever known. Yeah, just very, very generous, very giving. And we would all do, we would get dinner and eat family style and stuff like that. And so we plan to go to this restaurant called Shein up there. It's a Thai spot. And that Wednesday, Kenny I started to notice that he was sounding congested. That's the best way for me to describe it. um, I think of getting, sometimes it's funny how life is, right? When time has passed, you kind of miss um, details, maybe. And I think I'm getting some of my information mixed up because I can't remember. For whatever reason, I think Monday we did see my godfather. We did. We went to his timeshare. And while we were there, I remembered, Kenny was just like going to the bathroom a lot. And so by Wednesday, I'm noticing that he's not really, his voice sounds hoarse. And, as a singer and someone I've heard sing often, never, ever, ever had I heard him be hoarse like that. Ever. So again, I'm just thinking, okay, that's weird. And it's the summer and he's feeling, congested. He said was, I asked him, I was like, he's just kept saying, I feel like I could, throw up or throw up, but it's only phlegm or something to that nature. Um, I don't know how we got to talking about clothes or whatever, but he had high blood pressure and was in treatment at a doctor for it. And I was in the living room working out. Now, this might have been Thursday. I was in the living room working out, and he comes downstairs and he had tried on this suit that actually he wore to our wedding. I think he got that suit for our wedding too, now that I'm thinking about it. Anywho, he tried on the suit and it fit perfectly. Now, mind you, Kenny, you have to understand, after we got married, marriage life happens. You're eating, you're happy, everybody gains their weight and whatever. And he couldn't fit that suit. And I don't know if we were going somewhere or planning to go somewhere or something was coming up. I honestly don't know, but apparently that suit was his barometer suit that would let him know if he was losing weight or what have you, or gaining weight. He put the suit on and I was down there working out and it fit perfectly. And I, was like, well, oh my gosh, and I just gave him his props and gave kudos and stuff for him losing weight. And I was so proud of him and, all of that. That again might have been Thursday. So Friday, I had plans to go to see Motown. And while I was at work, okay, let me go back. I'm so sorry. Kenny's, by this point, by Thursday, he has let me know that he's not feeling good. He stayed home from work on Thursday. He did not go to work and he did not miss work ever. Ever. He stayed home from work and, I was just like, okay, that's really strange. Like, I have never seen this man stay home. I don't know what's going on with him, but, we didn't perceive it to be anything serious at the time. And Friday rolls around. I go to work. And he didn't go. He didn't go to work that Friday either. So I'm, corresponding with him back and forth and, just checking in on him, to see how he's doing. Again, my plan was now I worked in Allentown, which was 45 minutes from our house. So on my way home, I texted him or actually called him to ask him, if he needed anything, if he wanted to bring him anything home. My goal was to get home and change really quickly. I'm pretty sure I probably had my bags packed already, but change
and get on the road. Because I knew I was going to end up contending with, it was already rush hour by the time I got home. So I knew it was going to be rush hour that I was going to be contending with, but I didn't want to, wait that much longer. And so he asked me to bring him um, some orange juice, a liter of orange juice, or 2 gallons, of orange juice, and some oranges. An odd request, but again, I didn't think anything of it. So I picked it up from the nearby Wawa. And then I go home. And when I go home, I give him the orange juice, and he literally downs a whole gallon, like gulped it down immediately. Um, Again, it didn't, nothing's triggering anything in my mind about, I do have a background in healthcare, but nothing about that triggered in my, let me be clear. Clarify the background. I have a background in healthcare. I am trained as a medical assistant. I have medical assistant certificate. But I decided not to go on the clinical side of the business because I don't like blood, and I'm not even going to get into that. So I didn't. I went into billing. But I know, having worked in doctor's offices and such, I know some things. Sometimes you can know too much working in healthcare. I know some things. I know the signs of some things. I know terminology. But again, nothing about what was happening alarmed me or alerted me to anything. So he downs the orange juice. I proceed to go into my then office, which was just like a secondary bedroom that I had turned into my office where I would do my webinars and things like that for coaching. And I am changing my clothes and, putting on my clothes and putting on my dress and lotioning up or whatever I was doing. And there was a picture and I'm going to say this purposefully, there was a picture that he had taken or that had been taken of him for something that we did for church. And once it was like this little, they did something for like, what do you call that? Uh, Church school or scholastic fun event that they had. And they used the theme or something was like cell phones. And so they took pictures of all of the advisors or something in their cell phone. And this particular picture was him, and it was in the shape of a cell phone. And when he was done with it. He had taken it and crumbled it up. So I had it, and I had opened it, and I sat it on my desk in the office. And I remember sitting at the desk, putting on whatever I was putting on, my lotion or putting on shoes or whatever. And I remember that picture just randomly falling off on the side of the desk. There was no wind. There was nothing. Like I wasn't near it. I hadn't swiped up against it. It just fell down. And in the moment, I didn't think anything. I just kind of like, I was rushing, to be very honest, because I was trying to get on the road. So it was just like, okay, that picture, and it'll stay there until I get to it. I get dressed. I go back into our bedroom, and I get ready to tell him goodbye. I go into the bedroom. I get ready to tell him goodbye. And I lean over to kiss him. And I remember him saying, "You look beautiful." I'm sorry. He said, "You look beautiful." And I remember kissing him all over his face, just all his face, because he was laying in the bed at the time. I kissed him all over his face. And I said to him, "You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay." And
I proceeded to leave. I took my bag and I went down the stairs and I get on the road and naturally I hit traffic and I didn't get down to New Jersey until about 8 o'clock, which was well after the time that I needed to meet Jackie and Shakia to go see the play. I needed to get my eyebrows done. So I went to this mall where I don't know, it's interesting. I think I'd gotten my eyebrows done there before. I don't know if I was just there to look for something. But I went to the mall and I called him to let him know the normal that I would call him that I called him to let him know that I had arrived. Excuse me, I didn't bring tissue or anything over here. Um, so I got my eyebrows done and I called him and well, I think I probably called him first and then went to get my eyebrows done. Again, not the sequence of things kind of escapes me with certain things. So so I called him. I remember because I'm visualizing myself walking out of the mall. So no, I'm visualizing myself walking into the mall toward the place. So yeah, I said to him, "Are you going to go to work tomorrow? How are you? How are you feeling? Are you going to go to work tomorrow?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm feeling much better." Like he was just like, "Yeah, I'm feeling much better." He started to sound a little bit better. And he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to work tomorrow because I missed yesterday and today. So I'm going to go." And I was like, "Okay, no problem." I said, "Well, get some rest. And I'll talk to you in the morning." That was the last time I talked to my husband. That was the last time I talked to him. Um, the next morning rolls around and our routine for Saturdays was pretty set.